Challenging you. Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and this is something totally different than what I've done in a long time. This is going to be a narrated battle, but this is going to be a narrated battle of Pokemon X and Y. So, over on Discord, I had a challenger named Braden. He wanted to do a Pokemon X and Y battle, so I hopped back onto my Pokemon Y, got some Pokemon on there, so that way we can have a battle here. And if you look at my opponent's team, there's some things that are pretty scary, but the Greninja is pretty scary, the Mega Charizard could be scary, and Yveltal, that thing can, you know, be a pretty big threat as well. On my team, the Pokemon I've been wanting to use, I wanted to bring back some Megas, so I've got Mega Pinsir here, and I've so craved using Typhlosion. So we brought Typhlosion back. This is going to be the first time in a long time that we get to see Typhlosion in action. So, if you're excited to see that Typhlosion, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Put in the comments what Pokemon you liked using the most in the X and Y metagame. So right off the bat, I'm going to lead Rotom, mainly because it's probably the safest thing for me to lead. I can Volt Switch pretty easily, as my opponent leads off with the Greninja. And I'm going to get it with a Dark Pulse. That's not going to do a lot because this is a defensive Rotom. It's mainly for pivoting. And I'm going to go ahead and Volt Switch out of there, so that way we can, you know, bring in something that threatens this a little bit more, because you see there, Volt Switch didn't do much since it changes type. I brought in Superior because I feel like that's probably the safest thing for me to bring in, and I wanted to glare the Greninja because it's so fast. But I will go ahead and take this Charizard. I don't know exactly which Mega this thing's going to be, but I'm pretty sure it is a Mega, so want to switch into my Rotom, and we see that it is a Mega Charizard Y. It's been such a long time since we've seen one of these. But with my Rotom, I should be able to take anything that this thing tries to go for on me. And since it's paralyzed, that's going to help us out with the speed advantage. We're going to see a Flare Blitz. Usually Mega Charizard Ys are special attackers, but this one seems to have some physical attacks instead. Most of the time, what you'd expect to see on a Mega Charizard Y is Flamethrower, maybe Fire Blast. Solar Beam is a big one that a lot of people bring. And the fact that my opponent did not go Solar Beam makes me think maybe there is no Solar Beam on this thing. Or maybe my opponent didn't want to risk being outsped and taking a Thunderbolt. But anyway, I just go Thunderbolt. I wanted to do as much damage on that Charizard, and we'll take damage on this Klefki. We're going to stay in and Volt Switch out as my opponent goes for a Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave does not affect electric types, so that doesn't really do anything. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in Clefable. I'm not worried about this thing getting Thunder Waved. And I can go ahead, bring this in, set up a Wish if I need to, but I might just click Moonblast to get some chip damage. And really, Moonblast wouldn't have done that much to Klefki, but it was at a decent range. It would have done some okay damage. We're going to hit this Doublade with a crit, and it actually does a lot. Doublade has really good defense, but not so good special defense. So we can take advantage of that. As we go ahead and get Garchomp in here, and we're going to see a Substitute. Which is very unfortunate for me, because that means I'm going to have to break the Substitute before I can even do anything to the Doublade. We're going to go ahead and go for Earthquake. That will get rid of the Substitute. And that's going to bring the Doublade back out so we can actually do damage to it. As the Doublade goes for a Swords Dance here. Which, unfortunately for my opponent, I do outspeed. So the Swords Dance really didn't accomplish anything. Brought up the attack, but if my opponent had Shadow Sneak, that would have actually probably done a lot of damage to my Garchomp. But I would have been able to take out Doublade easily next turn anyway. I'm just going to click Earthquake. It's my best play, and we take out the Greninja on the switch-in, which is really nice. I don't want that Greninja around, so later on Typhlosion can do some work. Reuniclus comes out, and this thing also would hamper my Typhlosion from getting a sweep later on. So if we can get rid of that, that would be great. And now the Yveltal comes out, I'm actually locked into Earthquake. So I'm going to have to switch out now. I can't stay in on the Yveltal because I can't do anything to it. I'm going to bring in Clefable. Clefable is my specially defensive Pokemon. So I'm pretty sure I should take any hit that this thing goes for. And we see the Oblivion Wing does not do hardly anything to Clefable. It is so bulky. We do have Moonblast too, so that will do a lot of damage to Yveltal as my opponent goes for a Dragon Rush. I don't know if my opponent didn't realize Clefable takes no damage from that, or maybe it was a misclick. But anyway, we just get a free Moonblast on the Yveltal there. We're going to see another Oblivion Wing, but since we've seen that that does so little, I'm not worried about this Clefable at all. This is going to be pretty much a free Yveltal if my opponent decides to stay in this whole time. We're going to get a Moonblast in right now, and that's going to bring Yveltal down. Almost took it out right there. But anyway, now what my opponent's going to do is withdraw the Yveltal and bring in the Charizard. You know, probably to take the Moonblast, since it's obvious that Charizard resists Fairy, and it would take Moonblast a lot better. I'm going to just click a Moonblast here, you know, to take out the Yveltal, but I will take some chip onto the Charizard, and, you know, take some health, some recovery here. So what I want to do is click Wish here. I don't think I need to worry that much about Charizard on my Clefable, but what I want to do is try to get Typhlosion in pretty freely. I'm predicting maybe a Flare Blitz or something like that, some sort of Fire-type move from this thing. So I want to get Typhlosion in here and get a Flash Fire, and if my opponent, you know, goes for a different move, that Wish will help Typhlosion get some health back. And my opponent actually goes for Earthquake, which makes me think maybe my opponent predicted me to go into Typhlosion here. But that's not going to matter because this Wish is going to almost bring us back to full. So that way, the Eruption can actually do all the damage that it needs to do. And of course, it's not going to one-shot the Charizard. Charizard actually has decent special defense. But it will two-shot it from the range that it was. And the Drought is actually going to help us out too. That's why I wanted to get Typhlosion in on the Charizard, so we could possibly get a Flash Fire boost and, you know, use the Drought to our advantage. And the Drought is gone, but Typhlosion still can do a lot of work here with some of these Pokemon being weak to its Eruption. So I'm just going to continue clicking Eruption. We're going to get a Typhlosion sweep, which we haven't done in a long time. So Yveltal comes out, and I'm not worried about this thing. This thing could have Sucker Punch, but I'm just going to click Eruption. There's no reason really to, you know, try to do anything different if we're getting a nice sweep going, and we take out the Yveltal. So that's going to just leave the Klefki. And of course it could go for a Thunder Wave and paralyze us, but I just need one Eruption to, you know, go through, and we take this thing, and we get that last Eruption. So there it is, a Pokemon X and Y battle. I haven't done a Gen 6 battle in a long time, and, you know, I was thinking, let's go ahead and do this battle, because there's a lot of Pokemon that I really miss using that I haven't been able to use in a long time, since, you know, Sun and Moon, or Sword and Shield rather, don't have all the Pokemon even programmed in. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.